Now, just 3 weeks ago, this show brought you the news that net migration to the UK last year was a staggering 745,000. A huge proportion of those are foreign students and their dependents, of course. But now it's turned out that a quarter of Indian and Bangladeshi students drop out of university before finishing their degrees, and it's prompted claims that they're simply gaming our visa system. Well, I'm joined now by the social policy analyst, Dr. Rakib Ehsan. Thanks for joining us on the show, Rakib. Always a pleasure. The numbers are eye-watering. 378,000 student visas issued last year, 58,000 increase, 96,000 dependents, and now people have been saying all along that this is the cheap and easy way of getting access into the UK. 65% of students now remain in the UK after completing their studies. And Rakib, the fact that 25% of Bangladeshis and Indians are dropping out early will simply make people believe that this is taking the mickey and our student visa system is being gamed.
Well, Martin, I've often made the point that our immigration system post-Brexit is simply not fit for purpose. I've called it post-Brexit Johnsonian internationalism on steroids. It's a hyper-liberal immigration system, and I think we can certainly see that when we look at the numbers involving foreign students and dependents. This particular story is referring to student visas and how there's a possibility that some students may be gaming the system by obtaining student visas, but having that intention to actually quit their studies early and move into work. Now, you mentioned the figures there for Indian and Bangladeshi students. It's as high as 25%. For international students that come from China and Singapore, it drops down to 2 to 3%. So what we need to do, we need to look at our immigration system, how it works in terms of foreign students entering the UK and identifying the areas with the highest risk and the highest possibility that the system may well be being.
Because a great many people are looking at these figures and saying it just simply doesn't add up. The typical dropout rate for British students, and indeed all foreign students, is 8%. And you mentioned typically low figures for Chinese and Singaporean. Yet we seem to have this anomaly. And a lot of people, Rakib, are saying that they're talking about Mickey Mouse degrees. This is taking the Mickey degrees. A lot of people are saying it's an easy way to get in. You pay £9,000 a year, and I guess you're in the country. And we saw today only 1% of people are getting deported. It's practically impossible to get rid of people who abuse the system. This is just a come and get me, please, isn't it? It's a clear and easy way of getting your feet into Britain.
Well, I think also that people often make the argument that the UK should be attracting the brightest and the best. Currently, I don't think our immigration system, especially in relation to foreign students, is doing that. That's my personal view. And we also have to look at foreign students who do complete their courses. What kind of jobs are they entering? What is the quality of employment? So we have to look at the quality of international students that we're attracting and the quality of jobs that some of these international students are doing once they've finished their course. But in terms of addressing this potential gaming of student visas, there's various proposals. Lord Johnson of Marylebone has suggested that international students should pay a significant portion of their tuition fees up front, or when it comes to their required student maintenance, that it should be put into an escrow account which they can draw down from, similar to a system in Canada. So there's various ways we can go about tightening the system to ensure that it's not being potentially gamed.
And Rakib, you and I speak often about the demographic least likely to attend university in the UK now are the white working classes. And we must be honest, for every person from overseas who already pays more to get their tuition fees going, that forces the poorer British students out. And now, if the system is being gamed, the net losers in all of this debacle, where universities have become cash businesses, the net losers are the British white working classes.
Well, I've made the point that the white working class lads are arguably the most marginalised group when it comes to our overall education system. And I think that what we have to really look at more broadly in this context is championing vocational skills. I think that in every provincial town or post-industrial district, we should have German-style vocational centres of excellence, and they should be well joined up with our university system. Quite frankly, I have to question how productive those courses are from an economic perspective.
And do you think it's just time for a huge inquiry into all of this, Raki? Because we've heard so many reports of universities that don't even have attendance requirements, online courses only, being attended by Nigerians, and now we're hearing about this possible abuse of Bangladeshis and Indians. Do you think the entire university system just needs a free and open and full inquiry to try and find out if the whole thing has been racketeered and gamed by foreign students?
Martin, we need a radical overhaul when it comes to the university system. These should be academic centres of excellence, and I've seen the peddling of pseudo-intellectual theories becoming prevailing orthodoxy on university campuses. But what really worries me is the hyper-commercialisation of the university system, and I think that's a very serious problem. And I think it's something that needs to be addressed, because this current model of using international students essentially as a cash cow, really. I don't think that's a sustainable model for the British university system at all.
Superb. As ever, speaking huge amounts of common sense, Dr. Raki Bassan. Thank you for joining us